So, you've probably been hearing a lot about AI lately. It's everywhere, from your phone's camera to the chatbots you interact with online. But there's a new wave of AI that's starting to make some serious noise, and it's called Agentic AI. Think of it less like a tool that responds to your commands, and more like a digital assistant that takes initiative. You give it a high-level goal, like plan a weekend trip to San Francisco for me, and it figures out the rest on its own. It's a fundamental shift from reactive AI to proactive autonomous systems. This isn't just a minor upgrade, it's a completely different way of thinking about what AI can do. We're moving beyond simple question and answer models to systems that can strategize, plan, and execute complex tasks without needing to be micromanaged every step of the way. This capability opens up a whole new world of possibilities, from automating complex business workflows to managing your smart home in a truly intelligent way. It's the difference between having a calculator and having a personal financial advisor. In this video, we're going to do a deep dive into what makes these systems tick. We'll break down the 5 key characteristics that really define Agentic AI and set it apart from everything that has come before. We'll look at how they set goals, operate on their own, plan their actions, learn from their mistakes, and actually interact with the digital and physical world. So let's get into it. This is Agentic AI Explained. Alright, so the first and maybe most fundamental characteristic of Agentic AI is its goal-directed behavior. This is a huge leap from traditional AI. With something like a standard chatbot, you ask a question, it gives you an answer. It's a one-to-one interaction. But with an agent, you don't give it a specific command, you give it a high-level objective. For example, instead of asking, what are the best-rated Italian restaurants in downtown? You might just tell it, book a dinner reservation for 2 at a highly rated Italian place downtown for Saturday at 7 p.m. The agent then takes that broad goal and gets to work. It understands the intent behind your request and starts breaking it down into smaller, manageable sub-goals. First, it needs to identify what downtown means in your city. Then, it has to search for Italian restaurants in that area. After that, it needs to filter those results based on ratings, maybe from multiple sources. Then, it has to check for availability at 7 p.m. on Saturday. Finally, it has to complete the booking process, which might involve navigating a website and filling out a form. This process of deconstruction is what makes these agents so powerful. They're not just following a rigid script, they are actively problem-solving. Each sub-goal becomes a step in a larger plan, and the agent figures out the sequence on its own. It's this ability to take a vague idea and turn it into a concrete, multi-step action plan that really forms the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. It's the thinking part of the process, happening before a single action is even taken. So, once an agent has its set of goals, the next key characteristic comes into play: autonomy. And this is where things get really interesting, and for some people, a little bit scary. Autonomy means that AI can operate and make decisions without constant human supervision. You don't have to be there to approve every single step it takes. You set the destination, you hit go, and the agent does the driving. It's the difference between using cruise control and having a fully self-driving car. Think back to our dinner reservation example. An autonomous agent wouldn't stop and ask you, I found 3 restaurants with a 4.5-star rating or higher. Which one should I check for availability first? It would use the information it has, perhaps your past preferences or general popularity metrics, to make that decision on its own. It would proceed through its sub-goals, navigating from one to the next, solving small problems as they arise, all without needing to check back in with you for confirmation. Now, this doesn't mean the AI goes completely rogue. There are always guardrails, permissions, and constraints. You can and should define the boundaries within which the agent can operate. For example, you might set a budget for a flight it's booking, or specify that it can only interact with certain trusted websites, but within those predefined rules, the agent is free to act independently. This level of freedom is what allows it to be so efficient and effective, tackling complex workflows that would be tedious and time-consuming for a human to manage. Okay, so we have a goal, and we have an agent that can act on its own. But how does it decide what to do and in what order? That brings us to our third characteristic, planning and reasoning. This isn't just about executing a pre-programmed list of tasks. The agent is actively building a strategy. It's looking at its main objective and reasoning about the most logical or efficient sequence of actions to get there. It's like a chess computer thinking several moves ahead. This planning can take a few different forms. Sometimes it's based on pure logic and deduction. If goal A requires task B to be completed first, it reasons that it must perform task B. For instance, it knows it can't book a flight until it has searched for available flights. But it can also use learned strategies. Through training on vast amounts of data, the agent might learn that for a certain type of task, a specific approach is usually the most successful. It develops its own playbook of strategies. What's really impressive is when the agent has to reason through unexpected problems. What if the first restaurant it tries to book is full? A simple script would fail. But an agent with reasoning capabilities would understand the situation. It would reason that its current path is blocked and that it needs to try an alternative. So it would automatically move on to the second restaurant on its list without human intervention. This ability to create a plan, and more importantly, to adjust that plan on the fly, is crucial for navigating the complexities of the real world. This next one, adaptability and learning, is what really pushes Agentic AI into the next gear. It's what separates a very good one-time use tool from a system that genuinely gets better over time. An agent isn't static. It's designed to learn from its experiences. Every task it completes, every success it has, and every failure it encounters becomes a data point that can inform its future actions. It's a feedback loop for constant improvement. Let's stick with the reservation agent. Imagine the first time you ask it to book a restaurant. It picks one that you end up not liking, and you provide that feedback. The next time you give it a similar goal, it will remember that preference. It adapts its strategy, perhaps deprioritizing restaurants with a similar cuisine or atmosphere. Or maybe it fails to navigate a new booking website's interface. It analyzes the failure, learns the new layout, and the next time it encounters that site, it knows exactly what to do. This learning can happen in a few ways. It can be through direct feedback, like we just mentioned. It can also be through trial and error, a process known as reinforcement learning, where it tries different approaches and learns which ones yield the best results. And it can learn by observing new data, staying up to date with changes in the environment. This adaptability is key because the real world and the digital world are constantly changing. A tool that can't learn and adapt will quickly become obsolete. An agent that can is future-proof. So, for our final characteristic, we have what makes all of this truly useful interaction with the environment. All the goal setting, autonomy, planning, and learning would be pointless if the agent couldn't actually do anything. This is about taking action and causing a change in the external world, whether that world is digital or physical. It's the agent's hands and voice, allowing it to execute the plans it has so carefully constructed. In the digital realm, this interaction can take many forms. It could be as simple as sending an email on your behalf or drafting a document. But it can get much more complex. An agent could navigate multiple websites, logging into accounts, filling out forms, and even making purchases with your permission. For a developer, an agent could be tasked with writing a piece of code, testing it for bugs, and then pushing the final version to a repository like GitHub. It's actively using the same tools a human would. And it's not limited to just screens and keyboards. When you connect these agents to physical hardware, the possibilities expand even further. An agent could control the smart devices in your home, adjusting the thermostat, lights, and security system based on your patterns and preferences. In a factory, an agent could operate a robotic arm, inspecting parts for defects and learning to identify new types of flaws over time. This ability to bridge the gap between digital intelligence and real-world action is what makes Agentic AI a truly transformative technology. So there you have it. Goal-directed behavior, autonomy, planning and reasoning, adaptability, and interaction with the environment. These 5 characteristics are the pillars of Agentic AI. When you put them all together, you get something that feels fundamentally different from the AI we've been used to. It's not just a pattern matcher or a text generator anymore. It's a system that can understand intent, formulate a plan, and execute it in the real world, getting smarter every time it does. This is what sets it apart from traditional, more reactive AI models. Of course, this technology is still in its early stages, and there are a ton of open questions about safety, ethics, and control that need to be answered as it develops. The potential for both incredible efficiency and unforeseen complications is massive, and it's a conversation we're all going to be having for years to come. The move from simple tools to autonomous partners is a huge paradigm shift, and we're just at the very beginning of figuring out what that means for all of us and for the future of technology. But I'm curious to know what you think. Does the idea of autonomous AI agents excite you? Or does it make you a bit nervous? What's a task you'd love to hand off to an AI agent right now? Let me know your thoughts and any questions you have down in the comments below. I'll be reading through them. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.